Hi friends, this is my third video on the topic of stakeholder engagement. What I plan to cover today is how to win over disengaged stakeholders in your project. Before I actually get to the learnings, I think it's important to look at some of the common root causes for this situation. Look, there could be a number of reasons why your project stakeholders may not be contributing to the success of the project, but some of the most common ones include when your stakeholders' requirements are not considered while setting the project up. It could be related to timelines or resources, whatever, but they are not very happy that they're not being heard, and they don't feel being valued. The second underlying reason could be that your stakeholders are not clear about their roles and responsibilities, so they don't really know what's expected out of them. The third underlying issue could be with the legacy organizational reasons, where your stakeholders may not be in general happy with their current work environment in their respective function, which is showing up in your project as well. The fourth reason could be personal, related to the stakeholders, health, relationships, or any other domestic issue which is mostly temporary in nature, but due to which your stakeholders are not able to focus on the project delivery. So these are some of the underlying issues. It's important that the project managers keep these issues in the back of their mind, because till the time you do not understand the pulse of the customer, it's very difficult to turn the tables around with disengaged stakeholders. Now let's talk about some of the learnings about winning over disengaged stakeholders. So when you have a stakeholder who is not taking up the responsibilities, the first learning is to engage with them, and when you do that, ask them a lot of open-ended questions. For instance, what do they feel about a certain situation in the project, or why do they feel that they will not be able to meet the deliverables within the stipulated time? So ask a lot of open-ended questions and listen to them patiently while they explain their side of things. This works magic, and you will realize that you come out of the discussion with a lot of new inputs, new insights, and alternative ways of doing things. And from your customer's perspective, they will feel way more relieved after venting their frustration out, and they will feel happy that they are being heard and their opinions actually matter. My second learning is about clarifying roles and responsibilities. So a good project manager will bring together all the stakeholders right at the beginning of the project to clearly set out the roles and responsibilities for each one of them. And before the meeting finishes, we'll seek an unconditional commitment from every stakeholder about their responsibilities. My third learning is about organizing your project deliverables. So do not make every request a rush ask for your stakeholders. Plan your deliverables in such a way that you are able to give sufficient time to your stakeholders to be able to respond to them. Because when you start sending every request right at the end of the project phase, it creates a lot of frustration and annoyance for your stakeholders, and they start disengaging automatically from the project. My next learning is about conducting with your customers. So in a project environment, there are bound to be difference of opinions, but a good project manager will never argue or fight with the stakeholders. And when it gets to a stage where the discussion is turning into an argument, my recommendation is to stop the discussion for that time being and reinitiate after a few hours or a few days. My final learning is about making escalations. My personal view is to focus more on engagement than escalations. Try and engage as much as possible, as best as possible, to resolve issues. But when it gets to a point where the disengaged stakeholders may result in a failed project or a loss to the organization, go ahead and speak with the sponsors, speak with your stakeholders, manager to bring in the right influence, for the stakeholders to budge. But again, there are sensible and smarter ways of making escalations as well. So these were some of my learnings. Just to recap, the first one is about asking a lot of questions and listening to your stakeholders. Second learning is about clarifying roles and responsibilities. Third learning is about organizing your project deliverables. The fourth learning is about not fighting or arguing with the stakeholders. And the final one is about making sensible escalations. Thank you, Vaibhav, for asking this question. And I encourage everyone to ask similar questions or share your experience in the comment box. Until I make my next video, thank you very much for signing in, and goodbye.